Hello again, this is Marcia Boswell with Kansas Wheat, and we are live from the Combine Cab in Rooks County, Kansas. I'm here with Mike McClellan, who is on the Kansas Wheat Commission and is cutting his wheat here in the north, are we north central or northwest? Probably north central part of Kansas. So Mike, can you tell us a little bit about what is your favorite part about being a wheat farmer?
Well, we really enjoy harvest when all the equipment's working. And this year we've had a couple of really hot days, but the weather hasn't been bad. It's cooled off, and we're having a good run right now. So it's really fun to get out and cut really good wheat and watch the trucks head to town, and knowing that we're getting a return on our investment.
Okay, so we can kind of see the path that you just cut there. We're kind of on a bit of an angle. We're not going straight with the rows. Can you talk to us about why we are doing that?
Yeah, this field has terraces on it, and it's to prevent water erosion. When we get rain out here, it doesn't come very often, but it usually comes in big bunches, and it'll wash down the field, and if we don't have these terraces in place, it'll cut ruts and gullies and cause a lot of erosion. So the terraces actually prevent water erosion and keeps our topsoil in place.
So what other things do you do to help the soil and make sure that your field keeps being productive for years to come?
We do no-till farming on our operation, and where we don't actually till the soil at all. We're spraying to control weeds, and we're using crop rotation. We also soil sample and don't put any more fertilizer on the ground than it actually requires to raise the crop. And one of the later things we've been doing is tissue sampling, so we can actually go in after the crops are up and put nutrients on the actual leaves. So that really helps with the runoff of fertilizer, and it's a good practice to not have erosion and have nutrients run on and pesticides run off the field.
Okay, so you said that you are using pesticides and other chemicals to try to control the weeds. Can you talk a little bit about why you choose to use those chemicals, and how can you prevent or know that none of that chemical is getting into the food that we eat?
All the pesticides we use are tested very extensively, and they are actually applied either to the soil or to the plant leaves to get the reaction we're after. And the grain obviously grows up through the plant, but the pesticides don't carry into the grain.
Okay, so can you tell us a little bit about this field? Maybe what variety you have planted here, and how you made the choice to plant that type of wheat seed?
This variety is SY Monument. It's the first year we've planted this variety. We've been studying it for the last couple of years in yield trials across the state. Looked like it had some pretty good performance. We also took some recommendations from our agronomist. So we thought it might be a good fit, and it looks like it's turning out really well. We're really happy with it so far. This is actually the second field of Monument that we've cut. First field averaged a little over 70. I think this will probably beat that.
So how do you does anybody tell you what kind of varieties you have to plant, or how do you choose? Did you plant the same variety on all your fields, or do you have different varieties throughout your farm?
We diversify, and we've actually planted probably, I can't remember, but probably 7 different varieties in different places on our farm. And we study the information from K-State and also other publications about what varieties seem to be working in private yield trials as well. So that's the main reason we pick the varieties that we do. And we like to pick varieties that have some track record, but also be on the cutting edge of development, because the varieties are changing so fast now that you have to stay on top of it to get the highest yields and the best quality grain.
So this is the first year you have planted this variety, but you've been growing wheat on this particular field since like the 1980s. Is that what she said?
Yeah, we started farming this in 1986. It was actually some of the first ground that I farmed personally. We took it on back then when I was actually had a job off the farm, but we've been farming this ground for that long.
So how does this year's crop compare to last year and the last couple of years?
Well, I'm pretty sure by the time we get done this year, this will be the best wheat crop we've ever had, yield-wise. And I can tell you that the last 3 years have been the worst 3 years of wheat crops that we've ever had. So we're really excited to finally be getting some bushels.
So you said prior to farming full-time, you had a job off the farm. How did you make that choice to take on farming full-time?
Well, I worked in the banking industry for about 10 years when I got out of college. And my dad was getting to the point where he was going to slow down or retire, and it was time to either somebody needed to come over and start taking over the management of the farm. And so my wife and I made the decision to come back and do the farm full time.
Okay, so is your dad still involved in your farm?
Yes, my 86-year-old dad still checks on everything every day. Always tells us what we're doing wrong. He doesn't do a whole lot of physical work other than we're going to see him on the grain cart here in just a minute when we get back up this way. But he has been doing this his whole life. Went to school at Fort Hays to be a mathematician, but uses the mathematics to figure out what we're doing wrong.
Who else is involved in your operation?
Well, my nephew is on this other combine right now. That combine is actually belongs to a neighbor of mine that we cut wheat together. So he works for me full time. My daughter Kate is my youngest of 4 daughters. Is really into agriculture, and she's involved in FFA, so she's helping out as much as she can at the age of 15. Her favorite thing to do is to move vehicles between fields because she gets to drive the pickup. So,
she's getting her driving hours in then.
Yes. We also have another guy that works for us full-time other than my nephew, and one other guy that helps us with truck driving.
Okay, so we're
getting ready to put the auger out to dump in the bin.
So this is your dad over here.
My dad's sitting in the grain cart. I hope he doesn't drive off while we're pulling up here.
Bushels does this combine hold before you have to unload into the grain cart?
When it's jam-packed full, it'll hold 320 bushels. Semi holds about 1,000, so get 3 of these onto the semi. So my dad will put 2 to 3 dumps in the grain cart before he goes and unloads it on the semi.
We have a comment from Jess Beasley. Are you familiar with Jess Beasley?
I do know Jess.
Good job, Mike.
Jess is actually my nephew's wife, and she'll be bringing dinner to the field tomorrow night, I hear. So we're all excited about that.
We're looking forward to that. So how many days does your harvest take?
Well, a good day for us is 200 acres, and it'll probably take us about 10 days, but we've had some slow starts. Had to quit it a night or 2 early because of moisture, but so we could be going for as much as 2 weeks.
So, Shay Power is asking how many tons, and you said 300 bushels?
300 bushels is
divided by 36?
about 60 pounds per bushel. So
we might have to get your mathematician dad to help us on this one. 9.45.
Yeah, 9.45 tons.
Looks like we're empty.
Can you find out where he's from?
Shay, where are you from? We'll see if we get an answer back here. Okay, so after we unload the combine 3 times into the semi, then the semi will be full.
That's correct.
And so where does the semi go from here?
We deliver almost all of our wheat to our local cooperative elevator. I'm a member of the co-op, and so it's farmer owned. Sorry, here I want to get things set to get back into the wheat.
My connection is weak, so I apologize if it's kind of cutting out. We are live here in Rooks County on the combine, so feel free to ask any questions that you have for our farmer, Mike. We also got a comment from Martin, who sends his regards, kind regards from Germany. So I'm glad you're able to join us from Germany.
That's pretty exciting to have somebody in the combine from overseas with us. That's unbelievable.
So just looking out on this field, it kind of goes on for quite a while. How many acres are we cutting here in this field?
This field has 135 acres in it. So we got a start on it last night, but didn't get too much done. So I'm hoping that by about evening we should be done with this field, and we'll be moving to another field that's about 5 miles away. That's one of the things I did this morning. I went around and looked where I thought the wheat was ready to cut to go next.
So what kind of moisture levels are you getting on this field?
The grain is plenty dry. It's running about 10.5% moisture. Our problem has been that the straw is still green in spots. We're going to cut the angle, the other backside of this terrace out. So it's going to look like we're only going to cut about half a swath here, but we have to do that because this is the way that the platform will fit in the header and not still get all the wheat.
Okay, so if we were...
Plants going in.
Okay, I think we're back. It still says my connection is weak, but we're gonna keep going here. So we had talked a little bit, kind of while it was down, was you used to have a livestock operation and crops, and now you only have crops. You've gotten out of the livestock. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. We used to run a diversified farm with, we had about 200 head of cows, and we ran a backgrounding operation as well. About that time, we started doing our cropping a little more intensively. We started doing no-till, where we don't ever work the ground, control everything with the crop rotation and the herbicides. But as anybody that has cattle knows, it takes a lot of time and effort, especially during the spring busy season, and we decided to concentrate our efforts on the cropping because that's really my passion. So we got rid of the cows, leased the grass that our family owned, and expanded our cropping operation somewhat. Have never looked back. I often tell people that I wished I had my 200 head of cows back because I could load them up and sell them again for a lot more money than what I sold them for in 2003.
I bet so, yeah. Now, you were just telling me a bit while we were offline that you didn't think that this crop was going to produce a very good yield. Maybe in March or April it was starting to look a little like it was dying off. Can you talk about what changed between now and then?
Well, We'll start at the beginning. We actually dusted this crop in the ground. In other words, we did not plant most of our crop this year into moisture back in September and October. It was the worst planting conditions I'd ever seen. We got all the wheat, what we call dusted in, and that's planting it in dry ground and hope it rains. Well, we did get some rain in the fall, and the wheat all came up evenly and beautifully, and ended up with one of the best stands we've ever had. So we were.
And explain what you mean by stand.
Stand means when the wheat comes up out of the ground. You want all the plants emerging at the same time, and not some coming up at one time and then 2 weeks later some other ones come up. Well, when they didn't have any moisture, none of them came up until we got some rain. So we did get the rain. It did come up. We had favorable conditions over the winter. We had some snowfall, which set us up pretty nicely. But then in the late winter, we had no moisture at all. In fact, the wheat came out of dormancy, and we thought we were going to be in trouble because it didn't have any moisture. In fact, it started growing, and a lot of the wheat was even starting to turn blue because it was drought stressed. And then in probably mid-April, we started getting pretty nice big showers, and the wheat came on and recovered, and probably the biggest contributor to our great yields this year has been we had a long, cool, damp filling period, and that's when the berries are filling in the head and taking on moisture, and it really helped our yields this year.
Got a lot of thick wheat right here. So we are cutting on this terrace. Now what happens if we would have cut the other direction? You're going around the terrace.
The problem with going up over the terraces straight is you can kind of see how the rows are planted. We plant over the terraces, but we wouldn't be able to get all the heads, and it's really hard on your platform or your header that's picking up the grain, because you end up gouging it into the dirt a lot if you don't cut them out by the terrace, and then you end up leaving some of the heads standing and not getting them all. Your planter's flexible, the header on the combine is not.
Let's go ahead and take a look in the bin here. We can see we're starting to get, what, half full or a little over half?
Yeah, probably about a third. Usually when the glass is all covered up, you're about half full.
Okay. So you can see those wheat berries, those kernels coming in here, and that's what the combine is removing those from the plant. Shea Power again says this looks like a good crop, and we agree. It is, like Mike said, maybe one of the best crops that he's had since he's been farming.
Yeah, we're pretty happy with it. We're not very happy with the price right now, but when I think the state of Kansas is probably looking at a double wheat crop. Basically, there's probably going to be about twice as many bushels, and the yield is not going to be that much better. So it's understandable why the price is so low.
The latest estimate is 393 million bushels. I think last year's crop was 321 million bushels. So
right?
A significant increase over last year and the year before. So a good crop coming here in Kansas. Looks like some good wheat. Thank you, Mike, for joining us on Facebook Live today. And thank you all for watching.